Hey all, welcome back to the channel yet again, and if you're here for the first time, then welcome for the first time. And today we're going to do a little bit of odds and ends. We're at that kind of juncture again where there's a couple of little things that kind of don't deserve their own review, full review, but you know what, I want to talk about them nonetheless. And they include kind of a trash KO, a couple of BotBots, my first foray into BotBots, if you will, and a comic. An actually fairly significant comic. So those three things are going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, that's right, hit that notification bell because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, and the Autobot Family, and have a look for me everywhere across social media. And I'm going to keep this pretty brief. We have three things to look at. BotBots aren't really my thing, but a couple of them were gifted to me, so I figured why not take a look at them. My favorite thing about BotBots, honestly, are the names. And we'll get to a few of those when we get to them. I was also given this KO, and the alt mode is alright, but as you will see, the robot mode is just horrendous. And last but not least, I was gifted, though it's not in the best of shape, I was gifted Marvel's Transformers Comics issue 61, and it's actually a fairly significant issue. So without any further ado, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at all these things. And yes indeed, periodically I enjoy doing kind of an odds and ends thing, and we have three things to cover here. A crappy KO, a couple of BotBots, and an unexpected old Marvel comic. We're going to start off with the KO first. And I guess we'll start stuff off with the packaging, this trash packaging. This is actually part of a Christmas gift, so to speak, from friend of the channel, Maximal10. And I know that he gave this to me because it's such hot garbage. It is the Robocycle, and it's fast action. And on the back, you see that there's a couple of Robocycles. Changes from motorcycle to robot. He does come with accessories, if you can believe it. They look like this. This blue translucent sword, it has a 3mm peg on it. I don't think it stores anywhere in vehicle mode. And this red translucent sword? Monkey wrench? I don't know. Again, it has a 3mm peg on it. I don't think stores in vehicle mode. And speaking of vehicle mode, shockingly, it's an alright looking motorcycle. I mean, we have paint detailing back here. We have some paint detailing on the front. We even have a kickstand. And when you bring this up, it rolls. It rolls all right, I guess. It's okay. But the plastic feels really bad. Like, really just terrible, awful bad. And once we start doing the transformation, we see just how much garbage this is. So we begin by splitting the bottom and bring, I guess, these out to the side, because there's not really much in the way of instructions on the back there. I mean, there's some, but like nothing worth talking about. So you open that trash up, and then you pick this garbage. This garbage. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. You pick this garbage up here, and you split it, and you bring it out to the side. Now you stand it up, I guess, and split the legs. I'm gonna back this up and get the legs split so you can sort of see it. And here's this dumpster fire robot in all of its glory, I guess. Okay, so this was the C piece, and you just swing the arms down. They're screwed in right there. There's no elbow or bicep swivel or anything. You can't swing them forward or back or anything like that. Like, there's virtually no articulation. No knees or ankles or able to swing the legs forward or back. Like, it's a break. And this is supposed to go back and be the face, but on mine, like, it doesn't stay back. He couldn't even stay still. This is garbage. It was $2, and it's not worth $2. It's not worth 2 cents. It's trash, but it looks beautiful, and I love it anyway. Honestly, it's an epic fail, but this is one of those things where it's such a hot mess that it's fantastic. It's obviously like a minus million because it's so bad, but because I love it, it's like a 1. It's like a 1. Speaking of 1, from series 1 of BotBots, I actually have 2 BotBots in the game. These are gifts to me from Maximal10. Where he got 2 random BotBots, I'll never know. But these guys are actually from the Shedheads group, and the Chainsaw, that's the orange lad down here, is Cuddletooth. And the Lamoy drill over here that doesn't really stand up, this guy here is Major Lee Screwage, and that's like 3 words. Here's the glory about BotBots. They're goofy, yes, but there's like, I don't know, 100 of them maybe? 200? A million? I don't know. But like the names are fantastic. Like things like Point Dexter, Sticky McGee, Totes McGoats, Dr. Mogley, Fun Gus, Bogus Pocus, Steve from Accounting, D-Pad Chad, Fail Polish, Nanny McBag, which by the way might be my 2 favorite ones, The Cobbler, Whoopsie Cushion, and finally TV Cop, among others. I know that was a long list, but you get the idea. I have no idea how to actually do this transformation, so I don't know, We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I have a funny feeling that it's one of those things that's supposed to be easy that's going to end up being just not good. But who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. Here, we'll start with this little doofus here. Okay, so we stand him up. I get that. And then it looks like he doesn't have any face. Like this looks like it. And then it looks like we're supposed to pull out his arm. Though it doesn't seem to want to come out. What about this side? Okay, that one came out, and I guess flips down. Okay. This is not good. This, that does not feel good. I think that's it. I believe that's, he stands up, so like there's a victory. He can bend at the waist and his arms go forward, I guess. For this little guy over here, we'll move this goof over here. This guy here, you're supposed to apparently turn him at the waist and then open up his saw blade up there and then pick this up over the back, and that's there. There you go. Okay. His eyes are stars. He's a chainsaw. Not stars, hearts. His eyes, like, he's a chainsaw and his eyes are hearts. This is the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. These are ridiculous, but like, if you're informed, like, cool. I think they're cool little desk bots. Something cool to flick back and forth. I don't think they're going to become part of the deep lore pantheon of Transformers, but hey, maybe I'm wrong and maybe they will. And yes, sir, in December of 1989, we got issue 61 of the Marvel Transformers series. And this was given to me by a buddy of mine, Jody, who he was going through some old comics. He was like, hey, that's a Transformers comic. And like, he just gave it to me. I don't think he realized the significance of the issue. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's not in great condition by any stretch of the imagination. I would have been 11 when this came out. What got me was the nostalgia that went into this, not just for the story and whatnot, but it reminded me of a bunch of things. Like, we live in a digital age now when all the information we get is online and everything we see is like online ads and all this stuff. But like, how did we learn about like movies and new items coming out and new shows coming out and all of that stuff when we were young, before there was ever any internet? Well, you had magazines and you had radio ads, you had TV commercials, but you also had ads in comic books. And on the back, like they even done it sometimes as games, like on the back, here's one for Lucky Charms, and like it was play the game and find the thing that matches. I don't, like pink circle, I don't know, purple horseshoe down here, green clover, I guess, blue shirt, I don't know. I never ate Lucky Charms, so I don't know, but like, it was a game. It was, hey, why don't you pick up some Lucky Charms? You know, was what it was. The Primal Scream, and on the cover we have, you know, this big explosion happening, and we have Pretender Grimlock, Pretender Bumblebee, and Pretender Jazz. That's fantastic. When we open it up, you know, we have, again, like a game. This one was for tricks, and it was find the underlined words. For, you know, buy some trick cereal to go with your Lucky Charms, right? Primal Scream, this actually tells the entire origin of the Transformers, the history of Primus and Unicron. We'll kind of go through it, I'm not reading it, but we'll kind of go through it like quickly here. You know, Primus sleeping, and it's explained to us that he slumbers so that Unicron can't find him, and the idea is that he slumbers in the hopes that his children that he created as a last line of defense against Unicron's chaos can grow to a point where they're advanced enough and strong enough that they could destroy Unicron. Then and only then can he be awakened, because if he wakes any sooner, then Unicron will know and find him, and we can't have that. And of course, it's explained how Unicron, instead of making children, made a body for himself that can actually transform. We have Emirath Zeron. I mean, how often do you see that character? We have these figurines, or figures, I guess, 8 inches for Star Trek V that were coming out. Each of these were in a pose, and they were like individually numbered as collector items, and each one cost, there's 5 of them, each one costs $19.95. Now that would cost like $165 because it'd be considered exclusive and numbered and overpriced like nonsense. But they were 20 bucks. The whole set was, I think, $100 at the time, American. You wouldn't get that now. Then we have the story continue, Bludgeon and the Octo Punch and I don't remember the other lad's name right now. They're making their way to these Autobots. Over here we have like things you can order that have to do with like Nestle Quick, and like you can get the Nestle Quick bunny, and you had the order forms down bottom, like like a rubber bendable Nestle Quick bunny. We get more of the story, and Grimlock isn't buying it. Here's Primus. When he creates the Matrix to kind of put his essence in, but like that was Primus. That was one of Primus's early bodies, I suppose, when he was encapsulated in the asteroid or whatever. Then we find out that there's going to be like new Saturday morning cartoons. We have Camp Candy with John Candy. Oh, may he rest in peace. He was such a funny man. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Karate Kid. Like, it's going to be a good year. Do you think I'm going to be ready, Mr. Miyagi? Like, what? I don't even remember the Karate Kid having a cartoon series, but I think that's great. Alf was so good, man. So good. Captain and the Game Master. I mean, come on. Good night, nurse. So good. So good. More of the story going on here. More of the characters mind wiped down here. Talking out against Scorponok back on Earth because they had welcomed Starscream back into their midst. And Starscream had tried to destroy them a couple of times, and Starscream down here, of course, scheming. His coloration totally off. He is closer to his Pretender looking, not Pretender, closer to his Action Master body. Some of the coloring so bad here. Some of the sizing so bad. Like, just Bumblebee's face yellow. Bludgeon over here being all bludgeony. Here's the thing. Bludgeon and his Decepticons, they attack. And after they attack, there's a tussle that happens in like the chamber at the center of Cybertron where Primus is sleeping. And at one point, Bludgeon fires a shot that hits Grimlock in the back and ricochets off of his back and hits none other than Primus and wakes him up. And once Primus is woken up by the battle, all thanks to, is it Bludgeon? Yeah, Bludgeon firing a shot here. So thanks to Bludgeon, Primus wakes up, right? And when he wakes up, he lets out this scream, and that scream signals Unicron. And you can buy an Airwolf over here, and you're able to fly it. When it runs out of juice, like the propellers apparently like go at a different angle and it lands safely and whatnot. But you could order an Airwolf, or you could get it at any one of your local retailers. Not online. Not online. Right, Unicron's waking up here. Oh, he heard it. He goes, because it's Unicron. Mr. Bubbles had his own comic page. And that was your, have a good time in the bathtub with Mr. Bubbles, because he'll give you bubbles in your bathwater. I don't know. We come over here, and Unicron's awake, and that is just awful looking. Look at that terrible, terrible head. It's unmistakably Unicron, but wow. Wow. But here's what I loved about this. Besides for the ads, besides for the story, we had these profiles. Here is Blowpipe and Trigger Happy, and there's the whole profile down there, and it says when they first appeared in the comics. And we have another one over here. This I like was Star Signals, and was like a superstar, and like this, she works for Marvel, or worked for Marvel, and it's talking about like her doing like pregnant lady running, and how she's from I don't know, like emotional inconsequence, Nevada or something. I don't know where she's from, but like it's employees of Marvel apparently. That was great. I thought it was hilarious. We get Landfill over here, and of course he came with 2 Target Master partners, one of them being Ricochet, which is why it's weird that we have a deluxe Ricochet who's also named Stepper. There's a lot of strangeness with that name. But Ricochet was also a Target Master. One for Landfill here. Give us Landfill, man. Give us an updated, like, Earthrise Landfill. And Quick Mix over here. Like, again, a Quick Mix would be great. I'd love a Quick Mix. Why not? And the last one over here is Scoop. And, like, I actually have, here's good old Generations Scoop. Like, it's a pretty good homage. Now, granted, his partners' names were Hole Punch and Caliburst at the time, even though Caliburst is a different character by rights. Should have been Tracer. But like, I think that Generations one is a great homage to that G1 look. Absolutely. I looked at the Generation Scoop in episode 159. I still like that guy. I don't think he needs to be updated. I love him. Now, this day and age, we, again, living in the digital age, our community tends to interact through things like the comment section, or like through message boards, and you have the forums on many of the sites, and you have Facebook groups and the Twitters and the Instagrams and all of the online stuff. But what did you do before that? You wrote into the publisher, and hopefully you got on the mail page with the letters, and they would respond to the letters, and that's how you ended up kind of building a community. It was obviously a lot harder and probably took a few weeks, but that's how you built it up. On the back over here, there's some stuff about holiday savings where you could buy 12 issues for $12, and you could get another series of 12 issues for just $6, half off. So for $18, you could get 24 comic books. $18 for 24 comic books. That makes sense to me. Then last but not least, for Chips Ahoy and Chewy Chips Ahoy, there was a maze. Like, so many games in these too. I didn't realize it, when I was a lad, but now looking back on it, these weren't just ads, but they were games as well. It was so good. This was such a great story. It gives so much history of the Transformers and how they came to be. So it's actually a fairly significant issue, even though it did end on a cliffhanger with Unicron awake. But just going back and seeing all of the other things, like the Saturday morning cartoons that there would have been back in the day, and all of this sort of advertising that happened, and the advertising wasn't just advertising, but it was, done in such a way that it was an interactive game with mazes and filling in words and word finds and stuff like that. It was brilliant marketing, interactive marketing, long before there was ever an interactive internet. And at the end of the day, those same tactics are used by advertisers today. So in terms of some weird odds and ends and bits and bytes, so to speak, There's nothing here really to grade. It was a great issue that I'm kind of happy to have because I don't have a lot of these issues anymore. I don't have any of them handy. You know, little KO is trash, but it's fun. And the BotBots, I would never get BotBots. They're not for me, but you know what? Now that I got a couple of them, hey, why not? And here we are once again. Okay, so the BotBots are cute, but they're awfully simplistic. I believe the whole body is made out of like the soft rubbery plastic, or that's what it felt like to me, at least with the two that I've had. They're definitely for a niche collector, but there's a whole range of them, so they're definitely going to appeal to some folks, and they're nice little, like I said, desk BotBots. Pardon the pun, BotBots, get it? They're not for me. It's not something I'm all of a sudden going to jump on the bandwagon for, but they're cute for what they are, I suppose. The KO is crap. It is what it is. It's trash. It's not good. It's not good. It doesn't even have potential to be good. Like, I like the motorcycle mode. I even like the paint that is applied, but the robot mode is the hottest hot mess that I think I've ever seen done in plastic. It's terrible. Just terrible. The articulation is awful. The transformation is horrendous. The plastic could not be thinner unless it was paper. It's not good. Sometimes you get good KOs. They exist in the world. There are some great KO companies. And then there's trash. And that's trash. Now, to be fair, I have, if you've been kind of following along recently, I have talked about another KO that I have that was gifted to me. And I didn't talk about this time because we're going to give it and its counterparts, we'll say, their own review. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Sad Nexus Prime. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, stick around because we will be taking a look at that KO. A KO that cost a total of $7.50 Canadian. And it's a combiner. We'll be looking at that. But I think the best thing here was this. This was actually fantastic, not only for the nostalgia of looking back at the ads, not only for the nostalgia of seeing how the same sort of ad techniques were used back then as are used today in terms of like games and bright colors and whatnot, but the actual story therein actually adds a ton to the lore of the franchise from its very earliest of days, giving us background story of why the Transformers exist, what the end goal of Primus is in creating them, the kind of origins of the Primus Unicron conflict. Like, it's actually a very significant part of the story and the lore that we've known now for 30 plus years. And the only thing that I kind of wish is that I had the second part to this, because just having this one and leaving it on a cliffhanger like this with Unicron is it's a hard way to leave it, man. It's a hard way to leave it. Nevertheless, it was fun to look at these little odds and ends. Let me know what you think about these little odds and ends. You know that I love to hear from you guys. As always, thanks for dropping by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, hit the donate link down in the description. Of course, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams every Thursday night, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, as per usual, right here inside the videos.